You haven't seen anything yet. Feather 3.
Feather 3.
Boy, oh boy, look at that. On one engine. Going along just as steady as you like. Only a constellation can do this. Why do we have all that tremendous reserve of power? Because, my friends, power means safety. That's why this super constellation is the most dependable airliner in the world today. Okay, Hugh, bring in 1.
Unfeathering 1.
You know, these engines are not only the best that money can buy, but they are maintained by the finest bunch of aviation mechanics in the world, trained for years by Eastern. You know, you can have the best captains and the best pilots in the world. They can't do much good if the engines don't run. We've got the best mechanics in the business in Eastern. Doesn't that inspire confidence? I think it does. Well, we all have our dreams, I guess. I never did aspire to own an airline, but I always wanted an airplane of my own, even when I was a kid. I've got 2 of them now, a DC-3 and a Navion, and there are thousands of privately owned airplanes all over America today. This is the little airport or landing strip that I use when I fly home to Virginia. That's my Navion coming in there. A single-engine plane. We can go most anywhere in it. It has all the technical facilities and instruments that the big planes have. Besides the Navion, I have a DC-3. That's my Air Force. We call this little field the Leesburg International Cow Pasture. Cows out there give 100-octane milk. Of course, these are reciprocating engines here. We have the regular jet engines like we use in our military aircraft. This is a Lockheed F-94C Starfire. It's an Air Force jet-propelled fighter. You see, these jet engines, contrary to what I'm afraid is too popular a belief, are not the lethal things they're cracked up to be. As a matter of fact, they're so quiet and so vibrationless that to ride behind one of them is a real comfort. We're hoping someday soon that our commercial transports will be jet-propelled. You see, a jet engine has no propeller. The air is drawn in through the intake ducts just forward of the wings, compressed and mixed with burning fuels to produce a powerful jet of exhaust gases which are expelled aft. The mechanism involved in reality is much simpler. The propeller is replaced by an air compressor. There's a combustion chamber into which we inject fuel to expand the air and increase its velocity. And installed in the path of the exhaust gases is a turbine to drive the compressor. There you have it. This is my friend Tommy Daniels, a member of our Air Forces for 12 years. Tommy is one of the thousands of fine young men who are making a career out of the Air Force, taking advantage of the wonderful training they receive. How do you like it, Tommy?
It couldn't be better, Mr. Godfrey. It's really wonderful.
Now I'm going to have the pleasure of flying with Tommy today in some very exciting scenes. So, Tommy, what are we going to do?
Well, Mr. Godfrey, I'd like to take you through some pull-ups to show you just what this airplane is designed to do in climbing to altitude rapidly. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, but it's just routine flying to us. We do it every day. Now, before we take off, I would like to have your friends take a look at the afterburner in the tail section. It gives this airplane this terrific wallop.
Okay, Tommy, we'll do it. This Lockheed Starfire is an all-weather Air Force interceptor. She was designed especially to get off the ground quickly and climb to altitude very quickly in the hope of being able to intercept and stop any enemy bombers that might come over this way. To help her get up there quickly, she was designed with this afterburner in the tail section, which is why this tail section is so much bigger than any other jet you've probably seen. See, there's an auxiliary engine back in here that uses exhaust gases as they pass through and reburn them with greater efficiency, giving additional thrust to the engine. That really is something to watch. It get off quickly and climb to altitude, boy, oh boy. I want to show you what I mean, so we're going to fly by first on the regular jet, and so you can see and hear how it performs. And then we're going to fly by with the afterburner on. And you'll hear that, well, you'll see for yourself. You just watch. Okay, Tommy, let her go. We are approaching you now on straight jet. Watch our rate of climb. Now we are approaching with the afterburner in operation. Watch the increase in this climb.
Well, how'd you like it, Mr. Godfrey?
Boy, my pants are where my necktie ought to be. But it was wonderful. Gee, what a dive. Woo!
That's just a sample of what this airplane can do, Mr. Godfrey.
Thank you, Tommy. And this airplane can do much more, as we're going to see.
Yes, and here comes the man now who's going to do it.
And here is the chief test pilot for Lockheed, my good friend Tony Levick.
Hello, Arthur.
It's good to see you.
Well, if you think those pull-ups were something, Arthur, just watch and I'll show you how easy it is to penetrate the sound barrier with this airplane.
I wasn't with Tony on this flight, but we have a camera specially rigged on the tail to give you a close-up view of what happens when you break the sound barrier. Let me tell you what to watch for. First, notice the deep color of the sky, how much darker it is at 45,000 feet where Tony will start his dive. You are not only far above the clouds, but also above the haze and dust of the lower atmosphere. You are looking at the pure ultraviolet rays of outer space. There's the peel off. Now listen as the sound builds up. Usually, there are two thunderclaps. One when the plane runs away from its sound, and the second when the sound catches up again. Between the two, you are flying faster than the speed of sound, and it is absolutely silent. Now the sound is building up. The sound barrier has been broken. This is the silence of supersonic flight. Now the pullout is being made. Listen to the noise when the sound catches up. Now you folks have just seen some very spectacular flying. But the point I'd like to make to you is this, that as spectacular as it looks, it's not foolhardy, not without purpose. This airplane was built to take that kind of a strain.
I'll say it was, Arthur.